Hi, this is Light and I'm the rigger of this gorgeous pre-made that we will be releasing soon. Since this model supports Vbridger, we got a bunch of questions all about Vbridger, so I'm here to explain as much as I can. First of all, what is Vbridger? Vbridger is a face tracking plugin for YouTube Studio that allows for more accurate face tracking using the iPhone's ARKit tracking. It is created by the Artgon and Xarp. What do you need for Vbridger? Obviously, you will need a model with Vbridger rigging, Vbridger, a tracking device like Iphone, Webcam or Android, a tracking software like iFacial Mocap, Face Motion 3D, MeowFace, VTube Studio, NVIDIA Tracking, or MediaPipe. When you first open a Vbridger via Steam, you're gonna see this little window pop up, which can look very confusing at first if you don't know what's going on, but setup is actually a lot easier than you might think. First, you're gonna go ahead and select whatever tracking software you're using for tracking. In this case, I'm gonna use iFacial Mocap with my iPhone. Next, you're gonna look for your iPhone IP address. Usually that can be found in your Wi-Fi settings, but in the case of iFacial Mocap, it is popping up right after you open iFacial Mocap. Simply put the IP address in this little window right here and press connect to phone. Once you have that connected, you will see that the head is now moving. In order to connect Vbridger with VTube Studio, you need to make sure that you have plugins turned on in VTube Studio. To check, simply go to the settings and the first icon. Scroll down until you see the VTube Studio plugins. Just make sure that it's turned on. Once you have confirmed that it is turned on in VTube Studio, go back to Vbridger and click on the little connect button on the bottom right. In VTube Studio, there will now be a little pop-up window asking for access. Simply click allow. And boom, now you're connected with Vbridger. If you want to connect with your webcam, it's a similar setup as the iPhone setup. Simply choose the tracking software you want to use. First we will use NVIDIA Tracking. Click start, and then this window and this little guy will pop up. Please ignore how laggy it is for me. I have a really old webcam that does not track properly, okay? If you notice that you are looking a little bit to the far right, even though you're looking straight ahead, click simply calibrate and then boom, easy done. Next up is MediaPipe. Again, simply click on the MediaPipe, click start, and then there will also be tracking. Again, same thing, if you're looking to the side, even though you're looking at the front, make sure to just click calibrate. Only downside to webcam tracking is that it does not support a separate jaw tracking, so you cannot do stuff like the Doki Bird jaw, like the shocked face. Please also ignore how funny the tracking looks right now. I'm normally using iPhone. The parameters I'm normally using do not work with webcam, so I would technically need to go into VTube Studio and adjust them. Just like with any other model, you will need to make sure that the movement fits your own movement. The rigger will already have the model set up, but according to their movement. So the way they move may not be the way you move. So for Vbridger in this case, we will look for those parameters: mouse smile, mouth open, jaw open, shrug, lip press, funnel, pucker, cheek puff. I will go over what they do one by one. First is mouth smile. Mouth smile is already in the name. It tracks your mouth form, aka either smiley face or sad face. Mouth open is obviously the mouth open, like the ah. Jaw open is for the jaw tracking, also like the chewing. Shrug is like a little pouty face where your mouth moves upwards. Lip press is either like a teethy smile or pressing your lips together. Funnel is a little ooh, like a little kissy face. Ooh, ooh. Pucker is again either shrinking your mouth a little together for more kissy, or widening your mouth if you smile. Cheek puff is puffing your cheeks. First up, mouth smile. Feel free to copy all of my Vbridger settings to see if they work for you. In case they don't, we will now go over how to adjust them. So if you see this and you're wondering what's going on, don't worry, I will explain. So first, on the left side, you have the input, which is the tracking input. On the right side, you have the output, which is the parameter in Live 2D. The red dot over here is the tracking input with a range that we will adjust later. On the right side, you have the output with the maximum and minimum of the Live 2D parameter. And then we have limit range. Limit range makes sure that the little red dot does not exceed our input. This will cause the value to stop smoothly when approaching the limit. Then we have smoothing. As the name says, it will smooth the movement, but it will also cause some sort of delay. So for example, if I now put my smoothing on 100% on my mouth, you can see the mouth tracking suddenly becomes a lot less accurate and snappy. So in case of mouth, I like to put it at either 0 or 1. 1 for me personally, because I like a little less snappiness and I like a little bit of smooth like transition. So for mouth smile, you want to start smiling and see what number you hit on the very left. In my case, it's 0.95, so I put that in here. Please note that the higher the number, the more work you have to put in with your face in order to smile, and the lower, the less you have to smile. So for example, if I were to put it at, let's say, 0.7, I have to do a lot less work IRL to start smiling. And just the slightest smile will trigger to go up and start tracking the full-on smile. Same we will do for the frowning or like the sad mouth. Let's say around 0.09. See, that's why I like, that's a bit too extreme for me, right? I don't like how fast or like how extreme that mouth goes into sad mouth. So I'm just gonna keep it at 0 because then I would need to put like a little bit more work in to like start frowning. But I like the way it looks for me. I just put it at 0. Again, play around with these numbers to see what fits best for you. And then I limit my range. And then next to mouth open, same thing over here. I'm gonna unlimit these for you first. So, important thing to know that when you adjust mouth open, you want to make sure that you have the exact same numbers in jaw open. That is because jaw open tracks separately from the mouth open, meaning the mouth open is simply just the movement of the going from closed to open. The jaw is like the inner mouth movement, so or stuff like the jaw moving up and down. So if the numbers don't match, you can encounter something called dislocated jaw, where it looks really funny and really weird, where your jaw is not moving in line with your mouth, which can look a little bit funny. So make sure that if you adjust these, that they match. Again, same for open mouth. The lower this number is, the less work you have to put into opening your actual mouth. Please don't put it too low because that can result into some very snappy mouth movement. For example, if I were to put it at 2, it goes like this, and I don't want this because I still want it to look natural and not like I am going crazy. So again, just talk normally and see what number you're usually hitting when talking. The reason I put this to 0.08 is for the mouth to close a little earlier, just so I don't have like little, because I tend to have my mouth open a little bit while thinking, working, whatever. So this is like a little threshold for me where the mouth opens a little, closes a little faster than if I put it on 0. I can show you guys what it looks like on 0. The mouth closes a little bit later now than what it did before. And I don't want that personally, so I just put it a little bit higher to like 0.08. So the mouth closes a little earlier. Next up is shrug, which is again the moving your mouth up like a pout. Simply again, same thing over here. Check what number you hit when you go pout. Around 0.7. We could actually adjust that. If you want some snappier shrug, I can go. And now I go snappy. Again, I personally don't like that. I want a less snappy and more like I've put more work to hit the maximum. And as you can see over here, the output, I hit the maximum output a lot faster if I put it at 0.7 than if I put it at 1. Again, personal preference, adjust how to your liking. Lip press. Lip press is again either the smiley face, which is the one up on top, the or the on the bottom. Go smiley face and see what number you're hitting. And then press your lips together. You'll see what number you're hitting and adjust accordingly. Again, I put these at my numbers. You do you. Funnel is the little kissy mouth, the ooh, like the O sounds. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Again, same concept here. Do like a little O face. Next up is pucker. Same thing. Pucker again either widens the mouth when smiling. So if I were to put this at a lower number, so 0.3, my mouth would widen a lot more. This only mostly affects when the mouth is closed instead of when the mouth is open. So yeah, the upper number is for like the widening of the mouth, while the lower number is for like the pursing together more. And then cheek puff. Cheek puff, as the name says, you puff your cheeks. Again, check what number you're hitting when you go cheek puff. And put it in there. Something I also read in the Twitter comments is that someone adjusted all of their VTube pseudo parameters, but their mouth still barely moved. And there's actually a little small thing for that could help you that you probably didn't know about. So in Vbridger, you have this little thing over here that says Bridget, which is the name of the little gorgeous lady over here, and then something called save and load. Important for us is the load in this case, which will open this little folder and also kill our tracking. From Vbridger, it has a bunch of Vbridger presets, which affect these things over here. So the default will be Advanced ARKit Settings Vbridger, which is also what I'm using personally. Again, personal preference, this is all personal preference. But there are a lot more, with the newest being ARKit version 3.0. These all have different kind of settings and sensitivities, so just, for example, go with the 2.0. And you can see it's a lot different and a lot like more reactive than the before. If it's too reactive, just go back to VTube Studio, check the settings. You need to check all of the settings, not just the mouth. As you can see, the face, the entire body is a lot more reactive now to just the smallest movement. So you will need to go through all of your VTube Studio settings and check all the parameters and adjust accordingly. If for some reason this is still, you're like, I still don't like this, go back to this. For example, try the 3.0 and then see if that's more to your liking. Again, go ahead and adjust everything to your liking and see what works best for you. Another important thing to add is while setting up your parameters is important, puppeteering is just as important. You have probably seen it all over Twitter, people complaining, oh, I got Vbridger, I got this, I got that, but it doesn't look good, it doesn't look the same as others. And that is because you're not moving your face right. Vbridger tracking is a lot more sensitive and accurate to your IRL tracking than normal tracking. Because you have a lot more range of movement now, right? You have like different facial movements you can do, different mouth shapes you can do, and those reflect your IRL movement a lot more. So it is important to open your mouth, exaggerate your mouth movement, unleash your inner anime girl and go ham. I can only recommend pulling up your VTuber model a lot and just look at it, talk, sing along. If you have musicals, sing along, just move your mouth. It will be hard at first. I personally still struggle with it a lot. I'm still practicing myself. It will hurt your face if you just start doing it, but it is so important for a really good looking and great looking facial tracking. There are some things that can make tracking a little harder. One is excessive facial hair. If you have a full beard, tracking may not look as good for you as it does with others, since it's hard to track with the beard covering up most of the mouth or just like being in the way. Another thing I've heard a lot are glasses. I wear glasses IRL. I have not encountered any issues so far with, for example, eye tracking. But that's because I'm mostly probably in a well-lit room. I have the type of glasses where it doesn't reflect the light as hard. So I personally didn't have any issues so far with that. Another thing that I've seen a lot is the question where to place your phone. So the best placement would technically be straight ahead of you, but most of the time that won't work because you have your monitor in front of you. Probably. So the setup of the phone kind of depends on your own monitor setup. I personally have it a little like below my monitor, facing pretty much straight still at me. I've also seen people putting theirs above their monitor, face like tilted down a little bit, which I heard can work better for people that have like very pronounced jaws. So it's basically just a lot of like checking, replacing, and seeing again what works best for you. Another thing I saw is the question on how to keep your phone in the same position, and I can highly recommend those phone stands from Amazon. I have this one, which little bunny, which I thought was cute, even though you cannot even see the bunny ears, but any phone stand will do to keep your phone in place. Again, I do recommend one that can also like, you can tilt your phone maybe like up and down a little and just adjust it a lot more. Another question is, what iPhone is best for tracking? iPhone first introduces the whole AI kit and facial ID for the iPhones with the iPhone 10. So yes, you can get an iPhone 10 for tracking. I don't recommend it though, because it is the first phone of theirs that has that tracking, so it's not as good as the newer ones. No, you don't need to get the new iPhone 2500 million Pro Ultra for tracking. Anything after iPhone 10, like iPhone 11 and upwards, will work just fine. I myself am also using an iPhone 11 just for tracking. You also don't need to get a super new iPhone just for tracking. If you already have an iPhone, you can use that. I got myself an iPhone just for the purpose of tracking, since I already have a perfectly working phone, but it's an Android, so I cannot use that for tracking. I did not buy myself a new phone. I got myself a used phone via refurbished. I don't know if it's global shipping. I know it's shipped to Germany, which they have the used phones and then they make them look new and resell them, whatever. You can also just look on eBay or wherever you can buy used electronics and see what works best. So you don't need to go out and buy a brand new iPhone for this. It can be used if you're just using it for tracking. It does not need to be brand new. I also saw the question if Vbridger works with 3D models, and I've read that it does. I cannot really talk about it much because I don't have a 3D model or one that supports ARKit or Vbridger, so I would definitely go out and check on YouTube, on Reddit, or anywhere on the internet to see if people like how to connect it there, how to make it work, because I wish I could show it to you guys, but I don't have a 3D model like that. If you run into any problems for troubleshooting, I highly recommend joining the Vbridger Discord. They have a whole section just for troubleshooting and they're super helpful. I've been there before as well because of some issues. I can highly recommend going there for troubleshooting. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them. I will try to answer them. If not, again, the Discord is always available. They're super helpful and I can only recommend that. If you guys made it to the end of the video, congratulations and thank you so much for watching. I hope this little tutorial helped some of you, and I wish you guys an amazing day and happy moving!